Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at the weather next week, 10 days. In today's video, this will take us into August. We go to around the 3rd, 4th of August with this update. It looks like we'll be starting August on a distinctly unsettled note. So I'll take you through the charts and everything that's going on right now. We're going to start off with the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts for the next 7 to 10 days from the PSU, Penn State University website. Find me link to these charts on the links page. By the way, so we've got the ECWF here on the top, and the GFS, which I'll have a look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet is an area in the absolute high pressure, low pressure, are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to low pressure, and orange and yellow, bright colours, extrapolates to high pressure. So for the next 7 to 10 days, we find that we've got a trough of low pressure to our west, also to our northwest as well, and we're bringing the jet stream through like that. So it does look rather unsettled. Low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. It's a westerly, changeable type pattern that we're seeing there as we go to the end of July and the start of August. The GFS is very similar, only it takes the unsettled weather to more of an extreme. So this is an even deeper trough that we've got over and to the west of the UK, very deep trough at the time of year, and bring the jet stream through like that. So that looks, again, very unsettled. Low pressure is driving in off the Atlantic. This ridge here over across eastern and southeast Europe, that's going to be probably bringing a lot of hot weather into the east and the southeast of Europe, but the north and west of Europe does look distinctly unsettled. A little bit of northern blocking going on up here as well. So both bars are in agreement for a very unsettled start to August, most definitely. The GFS is more extreme, but they both have the same sort of signals. GFS temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. This is for Manchester. I don't get the ensemble up for London. So the red line here is the 30-year upper air temperature average, and you can see, but right now we are around the average. Going to stay around average, perhaps a little bit above in the next couple of days. Over weekend we actually turn it really quite cool, and then we get through into next week. It looks like we're just staying around excuse me, around average through next week, to be honest. Maybe even on the cooler side of average somewhat. There is evidence of a little bit of a zonal sine wave here, so we've got warmer and cooler sectors sort of alternating. That's quite a weak signal, but I think within that there is a little bit of a zonal sine wave going on. But essentially it just looks fairly cool, really, I think, as we're going into the end of July and the start of August. But precipitation, scroll down here, so for precipitation we find that we've got quite a bit of rainfall actually signalled. Remember, this is for Manchester, so it's a wetter place compared to, say, London, but quite a bit of rainfall is coming through there over the coming days. It does look quite unsettled. This is the 1st of August just here, so even into the first week of August it looks pretty changeable, pretty unsettled. I can show you the surface temperatures, and you see nothing really to write home about. Again, remember, this is for Manchester, it's a little bit further north, but this is 20 degrees just here, and generally over the next week certainly staying under 20 degrees in Manchester going into the start of August. Again, that start of August just there. After that, maybe a little bit warmer later on into the first week of August, although that's quite a long way off. And I think generally the idea is to be pretty cool and unsettled, actually, as we go into the end of July and the start of August. These are the temperature anomalies for the next week. This takes us from the 24th through to the 24th of July through to the 1st of August. And it's around average, perhaps a little bit cooler than average, if anything. Precipitation, again, it's around average, a little bit wetter than average in the north and west, nearer normal across England and Wales, perhaps. But again, I think we are looking at quite an unsettled and quite a cool period coming up. So this is how things are looking for Friday with the GFS model. Low pressure is in control, but trying to get a little bit of a ridge going down to the south, but essentially it's a westerly low pressure showery situation. Another low pressure coming in to the northwest on Saturday. That could be bringing more persistent rain to the north and the west. Sunday probably takes that rainfall southwards and eastwards. Notice that the pressure remains fairly high, reasonably high, down to our south and southeast. So the south will always get the driest weather. The northwest, same story as just the whole summer really. Northwest is always more unsettled. South and east always driest, but not completely dry. Early next week, then it turns even more unsettled. So this is how things are looking by Tuesday next week, the 1st of August. We're beginning August on a very unsettled note, bringing this area of low pressure in across the country. That no doubt producing a lot of wet weather, even down in the south and the southeast. And when we run up towards day 10, this takes us to day 10, which is Thursday, the 3rd of August, and it's remaining unsettled. Low pressure continues to be pushing through the country, bringing further showers, if not longer spells of rain. Winds are coming in from a west-northwesterly direction, so it looks pretty cool as well. Eastern UF looks like this. So again, Friday is looking quite unsettled. A deep area of low pressure to the northwest of Scotland brings showers, fairly strong winds as well. Into the weekend remains changeable. There's probably some sort of a weather front that could be strung out here, so somewhere might get quite a bit of rain over the weekend. To the southeast of that might be fairly dry and reasonably warm, but overall it is a very changeable and mixed weekend. Into next week we keep it unsettled really. We know that the ECNF wasn't quite as bad as the GFS in terms of that trough out to our west. So what the ECNF does, as we get to day 10, it brings this area of low pressure in, so it is still unsettled, but it isn't as deep as the GFS has it at around this time frame, and it's just sort of meandering its way in as opposed to being swept in by a strong jet stream. Nevertheless, this is just splitting hairs really. They are both unsettled and changeable for the remainder of July and into the first days of August. Now, just very slight change beyond day 10 that we might see a bit of a change. As we went towards the second week of August, the GFS is quite keen. This is cropping up fairly regularly at the moment within the extended GFS. It's quite keen to start building this ridge back from the Azores high. So by the time we get through to Monday, the 7th of August, look at that, we are back under a strong ridge of high pressure. We're bringing in very warm east or southeasterly winds around that ridge as well. So it doesn't take very long to start to build that high pressure back in across the country, and that brings us a return of summer by the time we get through to the end of the first week of August. So we definitely are in a more changeable situation now. We're definitely in, well, perhaps even a slightly autumnal type weather pattern with showers and longer spells of rain and fairly coolish temperatures, especially for the north. But we see from a GFS there, it might not come off, of course, but we do see that there is a chance that get through later into the first week of August, then on to the second week of August, that we might begin to build the Azores high back in. So don't despair if you're waiting for summer to return. It's by no means over and done with at this stage. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. But certainly for the next week to 10 days, it is looking unsettled, and especially so for the north and west. South and east will always get the driest of the weather, but even here it won't be completely dry. Warmest weather will be in the south, pretty cool up in the north, and then maybe something a little bit better later into August. Right, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.